Welcome to part two of our four-part series for peer leaders, focusing on coaching skills to promote mental health, resilience, and well-being. My name is Nikita Gupta, and I'm the director of the GRIT coaching program at UCLA. Today, my colleague Ebony and I will be focusing on skills that will support you as a student leader in providing compassionate care. This means understanding empathy, what it is and isn't, and how to strategically use your empathy through skills called normalizing statements and effective questions.
Hi, my name is Ebony Martin. I am the program manager of the RISE Center, and in this video, I will be talking briefly about empathy. So what is empathy? Empathy is the experience of understanding another person's thoughts, feelings, and conditions from their point of view rather than one's own. It's like looking through someone else's eyes or reading someone else's story and feeling the emotions of that main character. And so why is empathy important in your role as a student leader? Well, empathy is important in your role because it allows you to connect with the student, which is really essential for relationship building. And it also builds trust and can make the student feel like you understand them. Teresa Wiseman describes 4 attributes of empathy. 1 is to be able to see the world as others see it. 2, to not react to your judgments of others and to be non-judgmental. 3, to understand another person's feelings. And 4, to communicate that understanding of their feelings. All of these attributes are really important when working with students. Also, when working with students, it's important to know the difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is a feeling of care and concern for someone, accompanied by a wish to see them better off or happier. An expression of sympathy may sound like, I care about your suffering, versus an expression of empathy, which may sound like, I feel your suffering. Did you feel the difference? Empathy is not only observing, but it's listening and understanding.
So Ebony just described the definition of empathy, how it's different from sympathy, and what are the 4 attributes of empathy that you as peer leaders can work with, embody, and deliver to your students as you work with them through your interactions with them. Now, that being said, keep in mind that sometimes it's really difficult for us to access our empathy, and this is really normal. As a student leader, you have also a lot of things going on in life that you're navigating between classes, your professional responsibilities, and even working with your students. Sometimes the emotional weight of what a student may be going through is also triggering for your own body system, and it can feel like a lot. When that happens, we may experience burnout, a lack of an ability to empathize with your student. Sometimes when a student holds different values than you do, belief systems, whether it's identity-based, politically based, based on religion, or any other of these life factors, it can be difficult for you as a student leader to empathize with them. Just know that that's normal, and still you can practice the art of empathy while still retaining your own value system and still supporting them. It's important for you to also seek support and mentorship as you navigate your professional and student roles. It's important for you to take time to take care of yourselves, create space to breathe, to practice meditation, to journal, to process your own emotions, and to take space from some of your responsibilities in healthy ways. When someone starts sharing their experience with you, listen to their story with your whole body. Listen for their needs, their emotions, along with the content of the story. Normalizing statements are those that help people feel seen, heard, and understood, which is crucial in establishing a trusting relationship with your student. Normalizing statements biologically help to calm the emotional brain so that together with your student, you can guide them towards the next best step to meet their unique needs. Normalizing statements are also a form of communication that helps students understand that their feelings and reactions to an experience are valid. An example of a normalizing statement sounds like this. It is understandable that you feel upset, given that your professor is not offering alternative options for turning in your paper. Or, it is understandable that you feel anxious about being sheltered in place within your dorm room during this time of pandemic, when it's hard to meet people and it can feel really isolating. So just notice how those statements felt in your body as you heard them. Oftentimes, when we normalize a person's experience, we don't even need to fix anything. The act of normalizing is the act of healing or resolution. So let's look at normalizing statements. Normalizing statements has three main steps to it. First, we keep the focus on the student by avoiding using I statements. So instead of saying, I understand how you feel about this situation, you would say, it makes sense that you feel worried about this situation, or it's reasonable for you to feel this way, naming the exact emotion. Sometimes the student will not name their own emotion, but you can infer it through your active listening. You can infer what that emotion is. The third step after naming their emotion is to restate or reference the situation that they were referring to in their own words. Normalizing statements can be simple, short, and effective. And if you practice that three-step format, and even if you hit two of the three steps in a normalizing statement, that is enough to help shift the emotional reaction in a student's biology so that they can be more receptive and open to exploring the next steps that would help them with their situation. We can move now to the next step of further exploration of what it is that they really need in this moment that will get them to the next day or to the end of the week or towards their short or long-term goals. Effective questions is a wonderful coaching strategy that we can use to help students to explore their own process, their own perceptions, beliefs, and needs around a given situation. Effective questions are open-ended questions. They are not yes or no questions. Open-ended, effective questions stimulate curiosity and a growth mindset. They help students to discover their next best steps, and they build agency and confidence. So let's look at some examples of effective questions. In your handout packet that accompanies this segment, there's a long list of effective questions to use in different types of situations. Right now, I'm going to say a few effective questions. As you hear these questions, notice how these questions land for you in your body and what they open up inside of you as you hear them. Here we go. So if you're trying to explore the situation or the story more with your student, here's a couple of questions that you can ask. Can you tell me more about that situation? Or what do you mean by that? Some questions to explore how a situation is making a student feel emotionally can be, how does this make you feel? Or what bothers or excites you most about this situation? To help explore what a student's needs or core wants are in a situation, you could ask, what do you need most from this situation? Or what options do you have given the way that this situation is unfolding? And then finally, there are questions you can ask a student to help inspire them towards greater action. Some questions might be, is there anything that might get in the way of you moving forward in this situation? Or what's an action step that you'd like to commit to in the next day that will help you in this situation? As you get more familiar with the practice of asking open-ended questions that promote further exploration, you will become more at ease with coming up with your own questions that relate very specifically to what your student is experiencing. So we hope that you are able to understand these coaching skills of empathy, normalizing statements, and effective questions. Now, Ebony and I are going to do a role play scenario that applies these skills and strategies so that you can see how they are in practice. Now we'll begin our role play, and each of us are going to introduce our roles. I will be the student leader who is coaching the student.
And I will be the student who is being coached by the student leader. Hi, I'm Brittany, and I'm a first-year student.
Hi, Brittany. How are you today?
It's been okay. I guess it could be better.
It could be better? Yeah, tell me more about what you mean by that.
Well, I just feel I don't know. I haven't really been able to talk to my friends,
Mhm.
and I don't know, classes are online, and it's just I don't like it, and it's just not what I'm used to.
Mhm. Yeah, so it sounds like things are feeling different and maybe a little bit different than what you have been used to and what you were hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, everything is just kind of changing all
Mhm.
around. I mean, obviously, like the stuff going on with coronavirus, and we're at home and we're not able to be at school. And I was really looking forward to being on campus with other people.
Mm, yeah. That makes sense. So there's a lot going on right now. We have the fact that there's a pandemic, the fact that you're not able to be physically in classrooms and that you're on in virtual spaces a lot. And then, it sounds like even a bigger piece is that you're not able to connect with others. And it makes sense that that can feel defeating and a little bit, just isolating. Does that kind of reflect how you feel?
That's exactly how I feel. I feel defeated, like you said, and I just feel really alone,
Mm.
like it's just different, and I guess it just feels weird. I don't know how I feel. It just feels
Mm. That makes sense to have, it sounds like it, and it makes sense that you would have a lot of different feelings, complex feelings occurring simultaneously, and it is hard to even name what's happening right now. When you say that you felt alone, can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean by that, and maybe what kind of interactions you've had lately?
Yeah, well, I'm just really used to hanging out with my friends and like being able to see them and like go to the movies and
Mm.
like do those like really fun things. And I just feel like I'm not able to do it because because of obviously because of coronavirus and all of those limitations. And I know we have to be safe, but it just doesn't feel good. And then I just feel like I'm at home all the time. I don't feel like there's anywhere to go. I guess I didn't realize how used to connecting with people I am, um, and to just have it like taken from me. I don't know.
Mm.
I know there's ways to connect, but it just doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't feel the same. And you're absolutely right. It's understandable to have that feeling, and it doesn't feel the same. It's not the same. And I'm wondering, is there still a way that we can explore by which you can get some connection in this limited in the limited options that we have? What do you think, that could look like? What do you think, what form of connection would be satisfying for you given the factors that we have to work with it?
So that's a way you can use your empathizing statement strategically through normalizing and effective questions. By the end of that coaching session, I felt validated, heard, and I had a plan moving forward. So we hope you enjoyed the video, and we wish you much success as you implement these tools and strategies with your students. Thank you.